I've been editing NIH grant proposals for nearly 15 years, and I've noticed that many researchers overlook the three most powerful positions in the application. So in this video, I'm going to share what those three positions are and how you can maximize their power to get reviewers just excited about the work as you are. And in case we haven't met, hello, my name is Crystal Heron. I'm a trained biomedical scientist turned clinical researcher and now scientific and medical editor. And since 2011, I've helped scientists, clinicians, and medical communicators write with intention, clarity, and confidence. So what are the three most powerful positions in an NIH grant application? They are the ends of the project summary, specific aims, and research plan. So why are these positions so powerful? They are the last thing that people will read. So they are the last thing that people will remember. And you want to go out with a bang, in essence, like the end of a fireworks show. And you want to leave a lasting positive impression. And the best way to do that is to end with a statement of the potential impact of the work, how it will fill a need or gap, and just as importantly, how it will advance the field. So what I'm going to share with you is the mistake that I see many researchers make at these three powerful positions and what to do instead to set your proposal up for success. The first position is at the end of the project summary or abstract. So some researchers overlook this summary and really just throw something together at the last minute, but this summary is really important. Everyone on the review panel or study section will read this summary, but it's also important to keep in mind that if the project is funded, the summary will also be posted publicly online, so it will be read by many other people. So it has a broader reach and potentially broader impact. And so the mistake that I see a lot of researchers make is that they end with the expected outcomes of the work. Now, these details are important to include, but the more powerful way to end the project summary is how those expected outcomes will fill a need or gap and how they will advance the field. And this often only takes a single sentence. And you can even work in the word impact, or some people use significance, and that helps to add a signpost for reviewers and a way for them to quickly scan the summary to find that particular detail. And so with this detail at the end, readers, reviewers, or anyone who reads the summary online are more likely to feel excited about the promise of your project. The second most powerful position is the end of the specific aims page. Now, most of the panel will read or at least skim the specific aims. So this page is really important to get right. And the mistake that I often see is that researchers will end the specific aims page by listing their specific aims and then providing some details about their approach for each of those aims. So it is important to include these details, but when you end this way, you end with the details about your approach, often just one of the aims at the end, or maybe the outcomes you expect for that particular aim. But when you tie all those aims together and how they will fill the gap that the study aims to fill and how they have the potential to advance the field, that is far more powerful. Now, I know that space is limited, especially on a specific aims page. It's only one page. So even just 2 lines of text or a sentence is enough. And so what I like to do is add a bolded heading at the beginning of the statement that just says impact and have it bolded. And that way it is very clear that it is an impact statement. Now, you could say impact statement if you want to be extra clear, but using the word statement adds an extra word. And when you only have a page to deal with, I will take every word and character that I can get. So I just use the word impact. And by adding this impact statement at the end of the specific aims, you'll end on a high note to invigorate reviewers so they get excited about the potential of your project. Now, the third most powerful position is the end of the research plan or the main proposal. So who will read the full proposal will be at least the 3 assigned reviewers to that proposal, but all reviewers on the panel will have access to the full application, and they often read the project summary and even the specific aims, and they might skim through the full proposal. So the 3 assigned reviewers are most important because they are really the key advocates for the proposal. Now, the mistake that I often see is that researchers often end with a timeline for the study, and it's usually in a table, which is a great way to save some space, but it is not a great way to go out with a bang. And so reviewers have just spent time reading 12 dense pages of your proposal, the bulk of which is usually the aims and the approach. And so, like the specific aims page, it's important to tie everything together and talk about how those details in the study will help to fill the gap that the study aims to fill and how it will advance the field, or how it has the potential to advance the field. So when you end the proposal with an impact statement, just like you did in the specific aims page, that is a more powerful way to end your proposal. And you can even use similar wording as in the specific aims page. And it can also just be 2 lines of text, that's fine. But if you have room, you could expand a little and maybe even add a short summary, shorter than the project summary, that summarizes everything and then ends with the impact statement. But that takes some extra space, which space is precious in a proposal, so that may not be something that you want to do. But you definitely want to end with an impact statement. And by ending with this statement, it's the last thing that reviewers will read. And so you'll leave your reviewers with a memorable, powerful, positive impression of the promise of the project. And that is a powerful way to end. So the 3 most powerful positions of an NIH grant application are at the end of the project summary, the end of the specific aims page, and the end of the research plan. And the best way to maximize the power of those positions is to end with an impact statement that describes how the proposed project will fill a need or gap and how it has the potential to advance the field. And when you end in this way, you leave a powerful last impression on reviewers so they remember the potential impact of your proposed project. And they are more likely to advocate for your project getting funded, which will increase your likelihood of securing funding for your work. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you in the next video.